Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your Sunday. We also have your Boredom Busters coming up, but first, our top story. The Sioux Falls City Council is taking a new approach in getting feedback from the public on important issues. They hosted their first Coffee with the Councilors gathering Saturday at Leonardo's Cafe in the Washington Pavilion. The turnout was small for this first event, but those who did show up say they appreciated the one-on-one conversation.
To be able to go sit down with someone who is in charge of the city where you live at. I live in Sioux Falls, so which is kind of my incentive. It was just great to go see a face behind the leadership there.
Topics that came up included the city's sustainability plan, transportation, homelessness, and pothole repairs. The meetings will take place every third Saturday of the month and will feature different members of the City Council. The city of Sioux Falls has purchased 17 properties in the south central neighborhood that was hit hard by flooding back in the March of 2019. The city started the voluntary buyback program in the Rose and Lotta areas as a way of removing properties out of the floodplain and not put people at risk should the Big Sioux River near Interstate 229 go out of its banks again.
We still have our voluntary buyout open to the public. We tend to send out invitations once a year in the summer, and then we close that up with applications to the state and FEMA in December of that year.
The city does not have firm plans for the area once the properties are bought up, but Schmidt says turning it into a green space is a likely option. Authorities say weather was a factor in a deadly crash southeast of T on Friday. The Highway Patrol says a 71-year-old woman lost control of her SUV on the snow and ice on 276th Street and crashed head-on into an oncoming semi-truck. The woman died at the scene. The driver of the semi was not hurt. Both interstates in South Dakota reopened Saturday, but authorities say drivers should still expect to encounter stretches of ice-covered roads and snow-covered shoulders. To give an idea why the interstates were closed on Friday, the Highway Patrol posted these photos from a crash near White Lake on Interstate 90. Authorities believe 12 vehicles and 12 semi-trucks were involved. Around 40 other vehicles and 30 semis stopped in the pile-up and did not receive damage. Some vehicles entered the median to avoid crashing. Only minor injuries were reported. Let's take our first look at the forecast now with meteorologist Adam Rutt in the Storm Center. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Perry, and good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful start to this final day of winter, but it's still pretty cold, especially if you are East River. Southerly wind kept us from falling too far into the ditch, but it's still cold all the same. Here's a view of Great Bear as they get ready for another day of skiing, snowboarding, and tubing. 10 degrees with a south wind of 7 miles per hour. That still puts the wind chill right around 0 as we kick off this Sunday morning. Meanwhile, across much of KELOLAND, yeah, it's pretty cold to the east. 3 in Aberdeen, 23 though, the outlier in Sisseton, 2 for Watertown, 10 Worthington, 12 in Yankton, 8 for Huron Brookings at 6, 20 in Pierre, 19 Rapid City with a 37-degree reading, the warm spot if you want to call it that, out towards Spearfish. Winds aren't terribly strong yet, the exception being north of Rapid City towards Spearfish and Belle-Fourche, but it's still enough to put wind chill values near and below 0, especially if you're near and east of the James River. It feels like it's minus 14 in Aberdeen this morning, minus 13 in Watertown, wind chill of minus 1 in Sioux Falls, 1 above 0 though for Marshall and Mitchell. Then we get ready for spring to start. If only we can get the warmth to come around too. More on your 7-day forecast is coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Adam. Well, the SDSU women's basketball team takes on top-seeded Virginia Tech in the second round of the NCAA National Tournament today. Tip-off is set for 4 p.m. Central Time. KELOLAND Sports' Ian Sachs is in Blacksburg, Virginia, covering the Jackrabbits. Look for his reports of the game online and on KELOLAND Weekend News tonight. It's been 5 months since we first brought you the story of Brianna Damaris, an SDSU cheerleader who had to have part of her right leg amputated. She cheered on one Jackrabbits football game back in September before pain became intolerable in her foot and had surgery in October. While the recovery hasn't gone as quickly as they'd hoped, she will soon have a new prosthetic leg. For now, she's been very involved with the team by being at practices, games, nationals in Florida, and most recently at the Summit League basketball tournament. Coming up in tonight's Eye on KELOLAND, Carter Schmidt checks in with Brianna to find out what the support means and what's next for her. Be sure to watch tonight at 10. Well, you're invited to bring your furry friends to the Empire Mall in Sioux Falls for photos with the Easter Bunny. The pet photo shoot will take place in Center Court. You're asked to use the entrance next to Athleta. Photos will be taken and available for purchase from 6 to 8 p.m. PFW Post 628 is hosting an all-you-can-eat pancake breakfast. Serving time is at 8:30 to noon at the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance. The cost is $8 for adults, $2 for children. Also at the Alliance, the Cooties Chislic Feed takes place from 3 to 5:30 p.m. The cost is $8, $9 for Chislic with fries. Holy Spirit Catholic Church in Sioux Falls is hosting an Irish pancake fundraiser following morning masses to support Holy Spirit youth. Special guest Celtic Steps will perform after the 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. masses. Pins Bowling in Del Rapids is hosting a pajama party. Wear your favorite PJs for a chance to win prizes for all ages. Doors open at 8. The buffet and bowling start at 9. The Dakota Territory Gun Collectors Association is hosting the Kurt Carter Memorial Gun Show at the Cottington County Extension Complex in Watertown. Today's hours are from 9 to 3. Adam?
Well, speaking of the Watertown area, or at least east and north of Watertown, we do have a winter weather advisory in place. This is for Marshall, Roberts, Grant, and Dual counties. Not really for any kind of falling snow. Like I said, it's going to be mostly sunny today, but it's a blowing snow concern along the Prairie Coteau, where we could see poor visibility, not to mention hazardous travel conditions as well. So keep that in mind. Again, this is in place until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Beyond that, we're pretty quiet as we head through the final day of winter with really little, if anything, going on. We have to zoom out a little bit more for cloud cover, let alone a frontal boundary to watch. The latter does come around later tonight into Monday. It's going to sweep away these milder temperatures, but it is a dry boundary, kind of a blink and you'll miss it sort of situation as it passes through. The first day of spring overall, pretty good. Cooler than today, but still, it's better than the alternative, which is Tuesday, with rain and snow shower chances in place, and then snow chances up north of Highway 14 and 212 toward the North Dakota border. We'll continue with those rain and snow shower chances through Wednesday and Thursday to a lesser extent before we hit the reset button and we're quiet again as we go into the end of the week and even into the first part of the weekend for that matter. Highs today in the 30s and 40s to the east, still below average, but a lot closer to where we should be for this time of year, which, for those of you keeping score at home, is in the upper 40s. We exceed that in western and southwestern KELOLAND, 50s to near 60. Everybody gets in on a sunny day with lows tonight in the teens to near 20. Then we get ready for the first day of spring, which, like I said, isn't going to be as warm as today, but still quiet with increasing cloudiness. And we'll have that chance for some rain and snow showers Tuesday and Wednesday, a few flurries on Thursday. Then we have a nice quiet weekend as we head into next Saturday. For Aberdeen, mainly snow opportunities Tuesday and Thursday. Also, you stay in the 30s and 20s for high temperatures between now and the start of the first weekend of spring. So as I've said, sustainable springtime temperatures are going to be tough to come by. They'll make appearances like in Pierre today and next Friday, for example, but in between, we continue with the below average trend with rain and snow shower chances on Tuesday. Last but not least, in Rapid City, from 57 to 42 between the last day of winter and the first day of spring. Rain and snow shower chances Tuesday and Wednesday before we try and get some better weather in place just in time for the end of the week. Have a great day, everybody. For more on your local news, weather, and sports, you can always head on over to KELOLAND.com.